Hello everyone, my name is Nick Ertzgaard. I am the music associate here at St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Salem, Oregon. It is my turn to now give you the music ministry update message for the technology that we've been using for the past few weeks as we have continued to evolve our live stream process here at St. Paul's. So it has evolved a great deal from the very beginning of our process here. Right now, what I'm using to talk to you is my iPhone, which is the first thing that we used as part of our live stream setup. It has since evolved from that point where we just had my iPhone with an external microphone. That was our very first broadcast, where we were just broadcasting to Facebook and we're using my data plan on my phone because the internet at the church wasn't fast enough, unfortunately, to upload the video in real time with the bandwidth. Since then, we have upgraded the internet, and so it is very fast, and we are just using that to live broadcast to both Facebook and YouTube. So come with me on a technology journey, and I'll give you a behind-the-scenes look into what we've been doing. Okay, so here we are with a behind-the-scenes look at what we actually see when you all see us on screen on Sunday mornings. So you can see here we have a ring light to help balance out the lighting on our faces. We have a microphone placed here. We also have an additional microphone on the left-hand side over here to pick up the cantors and the singing going on. We have an additional 2 microphones placed up at the organ to help balance the organ sound with the vocals. And then we have a computer that uploads to YouTube. This red box right here is the sound interface from our soundboard to the computer. We have, this is a new device that Bob Morris put together. You can see here we have a place for our webcam and then a place for the cell phone for the Facebook, video feed. And so both lenses are as close as possible, so that way the focal point when you're looking at it and when we're looking at it looks like we're looking at the same spot. And then behind the cameras right here we have our thumbs up Jesus, who we get to look at, so there's a little bit more kind of human and spiritual interaction between just the cameras and the person who's talking. Now I'm going to bring the camera a little bit closer and give you a little bit more detail into what each of these things do. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a closer look into how each of these things plays into what you see on Sunday morning. So, the Facebook feed is done on this mic stand, and so the Facebook feed is still coming from a cell phone and an external microphone plugged into the cell phone. Now the YouTube feed that we put out is a little bit more complicated, and it's what we'll be using in the future, because having the stationary setup when we're able to come back into the space together is just not going to work. So more on that in just a few. So what we have to do is we have a webcam set up for the YouTube feed. Now that feed goes into this computer, and then we're using a software called Ecamm Live, which then uploads that directly to our YouTube page. Now, in order for us to have sound to our YouTube page, we're actually using our sound system. So the soundboard, on Sunday mornings, Bob Morris is at the soundboard trying to adjust the levels that are sent into the feed to go to YouTube. And when we have people in the room again, then we also have to adjust not only the feed that goes into the internet, but also the feed that we hear in this room. So it gets more complicated. Now, that feed, like I said before, from our soundboard can't just plug directly into a computer. So we have to have an interface, which is this Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Now, what I do on Sunday mornings is ensure that the feed that we're sending to YouTube, we have to adjust the gain that's coming from the soundboard to our Focusrite, then that goes to our computer. Okay, so once we have that sound check completed, we have to make sure that on Sunday mornings that Paul's loud organ sound doesn't overblow the feed, that when we have singers and cantors coming up to the microphones, that those don't create feedback and or overblow the feed to where you get that crackling sound. So we have to make sure that there's not too much audio input going to our YouTube feed. And so there's a number of different sound adjustments that we have to make, not only before the service, but also on the fly, because sometimes the sound output for individuals, when the Holy Spirit takes over, it can change, believe it or not. So once we have the audio set, we have that sound check done, then what we need to do is ensure that each of the different video feeds that we're sending to both Facebook and YouTube are within the same area and space for the front here. And so we have to adjust where the camera lenses are to make sure that we're able to see everyone. And so that's part of what happens before the service, is we have to go through a blocking regimen for each different step that you see on the live feed. And so the person who's behind the camera here needs to make sure that every individual can be seen on the camera. And so we have to do some blocking adjustment, especially with the different cantors that come in every week who aren't used to this kind of blocking for our live stream. So once that's all set, then we go ahead and take both of our feeds live. We want to make sure we turn on our stand light here to make sure that we have good lighting on both the presider and our priests, and that we have good lighting on the cantors. And that is basically what we've been working with for the past few weeks as this has continued to evolve. Something that's interesting that's happened is that we continue to make small adjustments every single week. There hasn't been a week so far that I'm aware of where we've had the exact same equipment and the exact same setup each week, because we continue to try and strive to make what our worship experience online is as best and as user-friendly as possible for you all. Now, as you can see, this kind of setup will not necessarily be the best option for us for the future when we are able to be together in this room again. So there is plans in place and in motion to have a permanent camera setup for the sanctuary so that we can have live stream services online forever, in perpetuity. So I look forward to continuing this journey with you all. Know that Bob Morris and myself, we've been here every Sunday behind the scenes, putting together all the technology so that we can have a meaningful worship experience for you all at home. So thank you for coming with me behind the scenes today to see our technology setup. I look forward to seeing you all every Sunday virtually until it is safe for us to come together once again.